Here's Nathan Lobdell to give you all the details.
Thank you, Emily. The study abroad opportunity will focus on Japanese culture within the country's blue zones.
And I'm Nathan Lobdell, here to inform you of what's going on this week. Researchers at the school are looking for your participation in a study that looks into how people feel about intimate partner violence in social media.
Welcome to another edition of Inside Swoop Scoop. I'm Isa Lane.
And I'm Nathan Lobdell. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to another weather update on Nathan's Radar Report. I'm Nathan Lobdell, and to give you your forecast for today. We're not going to be having to worry about asteroids raining down on us, but we are going to be worrying about a 20% chance of rain between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. today with a high of 76 degrees. And looking at it tonight, we're going to see that we have a low 59 degrees, and it's going to be mostly clear. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz spoke to students and families on Wednesday after the Department of Education announced it was cutting its workforce by nearly half.
These folks don't want to be involved in politics. They want to teach kids.
In a district where 4 out of 5 students meet poverty guidelines, the risk leaders are most concerned with it serving students with disabilities without federal programs or money. White House officials have prepared an executive order to begin the process of dismantling the department. However, this would require congressional approval. Graduates, get ready to pomp and circumstance with your loved ones at the end of this spring semester. All spring graduates are invited to bring their families and friends to the School of Communication graduation reception. The reception will be held on Friday, May 2nd from 11 to 11:45 a.m. in the Student Union Ballroom. Undergraduate degree commencement starts at 1 p.m. and graduate degree commencement starts at 4:30 p.m. Please make note of how many people in your party will attend the graduation reception before sending an RSVP to comstu1@unf.edu. Your reservation must be submitted no later than April 18th. Wall Street had an eventful week this week as President Donald Trump's tariffs took effect across the globe. U.S. stock were down across the board on Monday, but saw gains and losses as countries began to negotiate with the U.S. on trade deals. Yet some nations like Canada and China continue to resist President Trump's push for global economic change. Canada has already enacted a 25% auto imports from the U.S., while China announced it will raise tariffs on American goods to 84%. All this instability leaves consumers with the shock of ever-increasing prices. Ospreys, if you're planning on flocking to any early spring break plans around the country, be sure to be prepared for some storms later this week. A powerful storm system is on the move and swooping across the country. The storm is set to hit Southern California later this week with heavy rain before flying east, bringing tornado threats to the south and blizzard conditions to the North Plains and Midwest. This comes after a week of extreme weather in Texas. Stay safe, Ospreys. But now over here in Jacksonville, we are expecting to see a high of 80 degrees and beautiful sunny weather. Now into tonight, we'll see that we have a low of 50 degrees and it's going to be mostly clear. In talking about bats, one of the legendary actors who played Batman, Val Kilmer, has died at the age of 65 from pneumonia. Kilmer's career has certainly been memorable, from roles like Doc Holliday in Tombstone to Top Gun's Iceman to the iconic superhero Batman in 1995. Even while Kilmer was dealing with cancer, leaving him with a raspy voice, he continued to leave a legacy through his film career.
We could turn this show into something like Dancing with the Swoop Stars.
Whoa, that reminds me of our reporter Nathan Lobdell talking about a new member of the show Dancing with the Stars.
Thanks, guys. Steve Irwin's son Robert will be taking a break from his life of crocodiles and koalas to join the cast of Dancing with the Stars. Irwin was the first contestant to be announced for the show's 34th season. He isn't the first of Steve Irwin's kids to put on dancing shoes. His sister Bindi has already won the competition with her partner Derek Huff. Hopefully the talent runs in the family. Back to you guys in the studio. Take a look at this. Crews were already on the scene due to 3 of the support beams breaking earlier in the morning, and it only continued to crash down. They were working alongside the building on a crane when it crumbled just a couple feet away from them. People on the scene reported the crash sounding like a train, then suddenly debris flew in the sky. Recent seismic upgrades and braces on the wall helped keep the collapse from getting worse. No injuries were reported. Some positive news from around the world's oceans. Endangered sea turtles populations are making a comeback. A new global survey shows sea turtles are recovering in more than half the areas where they're found worldwide. Researchers credit decades of conservation efforts, including protections in the U.S. and Mexico, and measures to reduce hunting and pollution.
Progress is promising, but experts urge continued caution to protect nesting turtles. Still, this survey marks a promising step for marine life. But over here in Jacksonville, Florida, for today, we are going to be seeing beautiful sunny weather. It's going to be mostly sunny, and we're going to have a high of 85 degrees. And looking into tonight, we're going to see that we have a low of 67 degrees, and it's going to be a little bit cloudy. But looking at our 3-day National Weather Radar report, we are expected to see some rain coming on in the next 3 days as this front pushes on south, bringing rain and thunderstorms our way. Let's take a closer look at that with our 7-day Osprey outlook. We are expected to see some sun tomorrow, but then we are expected to see some thunderstorms and rain all the way up until Tuesday. And throughout the week, we're going to be sticking mainly to the 80s and 90s. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this edition of Nathan's Perch Report. It's been great being your weatherman. I'm Nathan Lobdell, and thank you for watching.